Hi there, I'm Emma Hollywood and welcome to And the Show Goes On. I'm an actress and, like so many, I'm navigating the highs and lows of this unpredictable industry. But there's more to my story. I'm also living with an invisible illness. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the show really does go on. In each episode, we'll dive into the world of acting, uncovering the realities behind the glitz and the glamour. We'll talk openly about the challenges, from auditions to the art of managing it all with health challenges that don't take a day off. And I won't be alone. I'll be joined by incredible guests, actors, advocates, and others who share this journey. Together we'll share stories, laughter, insights, and inspiration to help you keep pushing forward no matter what. So join me every week on And the Show Goes On. Let's navigate this path together with resilience and a sense of humour, because no matter what, the show goes on. Hello and welcome back to And the Show Goes On. In today's episode, we have actor and musician Shay Daniels. Shay and I met on a research and development job, and we've been friends ever since. I love speaking to him and discussing his experiences of being a disabled actor and musician. I hope you all enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. Hi Shay, could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, so I'm Shay Daniels. I'm 27. I'm an actor and a musician, and technically a singer, but more on that maybe later.
So you do acting and music. What got you into those two things, and what were your first experiences of them?
So music. So I grew up in a small church. Well, grew up in like a church setting. So my first church was a really small church. So my dad was the pastor, and then I was part of the band, and then my sister again part of the band, and then my brother part of the band. So my sister was a singer, I was a guitarist slash harmony, and then my brother was a drummer. And then going to a special needs school, obviously there's people with like different like variations of disability. So I was one of the few who were like able to like quote unquote vocalize. So being able to join the school choir was found music in that. And then when leaving school, kind of just evolved and was like, hey, I want to learn more. So I taught myself more, but like also got a teacher for guitar specifically before, um, yeah, realizing that I would like to learn more. And then acting was kind of random. So basically, in school we did like a couple like productions and stuff like that, but never really thought anything about doing it as a career. And then I think in like 2018 or 17 or something like that, I was chilling with my best friend, and he had joined Visible before I did. And back around a couple years before that, we were talking about stuff that he's done. Like literally every time he had done a shoot or something, we would talk about it, and then blah blah blah. And then that one day in like 2017 or 18 again, he was like, "Hey, you should join." I was like, "Eh." And then I ended up joining just because, and then got approved, and then yeah, yeah. I honestly there is more to it, but yeah, I'm kind of waffling. So
No. What made you want to turn it into a career instead of just like a hobby? What kind of drove you into like getting an agent, for
Mm.
example?
So two answers to that. One answer is I knew that I didn't want to have a quote unquote normal 9 to 5, because I'm not built for a 9 to 5. So yeah, it was either gonna be like acting or like singing, or but this was back when YouTube. I mean, granted, YouTube is still obviously a big thing, but this was when like everyone was like vlogging and like stuff like that. So I was gonna do that, but then so basically got approved with Visable, and then basically got nothing for a couple years, just like a couple like auditions and here and there, and then I got this one thing that it wasn't an audition. They just liked how I looked, so they put me up for a shoot, and that day of the set, I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of fun. I want to do this. And then yeah, and then again, a couple years later, nothing until this one audition for a theatre production, which was an interesting one because I didn't get it, but the casting director, shout out Jill Perry, she was like, okay, I don't think you're necessarily good for this, but you'll be good for like TV or like screen. So ever since that, I've been getting like a whole load more like quote unquote acting stuff and auditions and yeah.
Yeah. You know, you said like you had like a couple of years in between like jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
How did you kind of cope with that? Like, because I know like when I don't get a job after
Mm.
like a year or two, it can get like quite frustrating. How did you feel about that?
It was one of those where I didn't call myself an actor then. Like
Okay.
it was a thing where um I had that mindset of if I'm not working, I'm not an actor. Like what am I doing? And literally, even when I started getting my self like more work, well, I mean, obviously because they were getting me more work, um, then I was like, hey, I'm an actor now because I'm getting more work. But at the same time, I had that mind shift of like being an actor isn't quote unquote lucrative. So you're not gonna get like there's gonna be times where you're not gonna get like work. So just because you're not working, that doesn't make you not an actor.
Yeah. With acting, what would you say is like a dream role of yours? What kind of TV show would you want to be in if you're like focusing on screen?
Okay, I love this question. I love answering this question. So okay, so wheelchair user, right? Oh, I'm a wheelchair user. So you know, with like spy shows or movies, you
Yeah.
get like the obviously the main guy who's like out on the field,
Uh-huh.
and then you got someone like Ned, so like the guy in the chair. So I
Yeah.
want to be the guy in the chair, in like literally in the chair, in the chair.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
That would be great. That would
Yeah.
honestly great. And with your music as well, do you have a dream music collab? If would you do more like music stuff like that?
Honestly, I don't know. So like, I am I'm working on music.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wanna maybe focus more on the like screen side first. Like oh no, another role to get something like Glee. So like quote unquote singing show or like music
Yeah.
show. Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
That
So
would be really cool.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so you touched on it a little bit there.
Mm.
Do you mind telling the listeners a little bit about your disability and how it affects you?
Yeah. So spina bifida, which in a sentence means a an interesting spine. That's how I'm gonna put it. An interesting spine. So I got weak legs, so I use a manual wheelchair to get around. And honestly, so I've not been on set enough for it to affect me in that way. Saying that, transport. I wanted to work transport. Transport is an interesting one because
It's
it's like
horrible.
it's so bad. Because the thing is, technically speaking, it's fine. But then you got times where it's like using the bus. Um I would have to miss the bus because either the ramp isn't working and like the driver won't let me on, or they just don't see me and it's just like you saw me. Which I mean, around summertime, totally fine. I'll chill outside because you know it's hot. But when it's not,
It's not
yeah,
ideal.
it's not ideal, nah.
How has it affected you, like with your job and auditions? Have you like faced any ableism or kind of any hurdles because of like inaccessibility?
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you, no,
Yeah.
but that's due to not necessarily having like enough jobs to do so. Because like
Yeah.
a lot of the jobs that I have had are like quote unquote relaxed ones, or there's not many people on set. So yeah, I've been lucky so far to not face any. Yeah,
That's
saying
good.
that, saying that. So I do post on TikTok quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and on there, there you get some keyboard warriors, which honestly, facing that, which I feel like would be the same way I'd face it in person. I don't care, honestly. In terms of like, I never let things affect me in in the sense of it putting me down. Obviously, I'll talk about it because obviously it's wrong, and hopefully get people to understand that what you're saying isn't right. But in terms of it, yeah, affecting me, I don't think it does per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite job or like a specific moment in your career, whether that be a job or an audition or a turning point in your career that's like kind of stuck in your mind?
So I feel like two. One would be a quote unquote obvious one to anyone who's like lived my life. So I was on Doctor Who, the second episode of Shruti Gatwa's um, season. It was like a dance thing, which obviously quote unquote. I keep on saying quote unquote. Anyways, small role, but like that's my first TV experience, and then the one where I was talking about Jill Perry saying that I should go for more because literally before that I was going out for anything. So that kind of was like, in fact, no, okay. The story to that is so I did the audition
Yeah.
and they liked me, did the callback, and it was a thing where in my head I knew I didn't necessarily want to do theatre because hats off to people who do theatre, but
Oh God, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's not me. Um, so basically, a couple days before like the callback audition, it was on Zoom. I had the same prayer where I was like, I I want something. I don't necessarily want this job, but I want something to work out from this job. Kept on saying that every time, like kept on having that as my prayer before I go to bed. And literally, the day of the thing, the thing is, that Zoom meeting, it wasn't terrible, but I like it
It
wasn't
wasn't great.
anything good. Yeah. So did it, and then probably like 2 weeks went by,
Uh-huh.
and you know that dreaded nothingness, just waiting,
Yeah.
like oh stress. Anyways, got a message back from Meg saying, "Oh, so unfortunately you didn't get this, but here's like a little paragraph of what Joe said, which said, um, okay, we don't necessarily want you for this," and then they actually had a reason, which totally fine, and but I think that going forward, you should go out for like TV stuff or screen stuff, and yeah, so that kind of what's the word clarified in my head that yeah, TV is where I want to go, or screen is where I want to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same. Like, I'll do both, but I prefer screen.
Yeah,
It's just I feel like it's a more relaxed atmosphere, and I
yeah,
think like when I had Elena Pacelli on and she did the West End, and she said that like obviously she enjoyed doing the musical she did, but she felt like she was stuck on stage,
yeah.
and I think that would just like scare me if I was stuck on
True.
stage.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
Also being able to mess up, like
yeah,
I feel like I not necessarily panic, but I don't like the live experience.
no.
It's interesting because like people bounce off of the live experience, which totally fine. We get it. But yeah, no. Yeah.
What changes would you like to see, whether that's just in the general world or
Uh,
like in your acting career, to make it more accessible?
mm. Um okay. I don't know how I'm gonna word this,
Yeah.
but um obviously right now it's been like what 15, 20 years or whatever. So it's quote unquote too late. I keep saying quote unquote. Anyways, um for like casting directors to see more authentic disabled people, whether it's like on screen or theater, and if it is for theater, let's get these theater spaces more accessible for the wheelchair users or just anyone, and yeah, for like on screen, let's get more people to help out with like just different quote. Okay, that's something. Uh,
I'm gonna do a quote unquote count for you in this
honestly,
podcast.
yeah, more people to like help out with people's disabilities if needed. Because like, let's be honest, the most you're gonna need is one or two extra people, and I'm pretty sure that's it's not really because that leads me to say if we had that again like 15, 20 years ago, we would have more prophilic disabled actors. And obviously, I mean, obviously we're here now. Like
Hmm.
we gonna make that change. But yeah, you're like obviously if people saw more disabled people on screen, one, it would be normal or again quote unquote normal to like just be disabled, because I mean it is just like normal to be disabled. You can literally
Yeah.
have a disability at any point in your life. So yeah, and yeah, there'll be more diversity. Yeah.
Hmm. Do you
Yeah.
think it is? Do you think the industry is getting more accessible? And also, do you think like we are getting more accessible as a society,
Mm.
in your opinion?
It's interesting because yes and no. I'll say okay, yes, because we're seeing more like, or in my opinion, I'm seeing more like shows or movies where they do have like disabled people in it. I want there to be more main characters with sorry, main people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Saying that, a lot of the shows or movies where they do have a disability, it's really annoying with the fact of having the same storyline of like, oh, I'm disabled, so I'm an outcast, blah blah blah. We get it. We
Yeah.
get it. Like we get it. Saying that, well, I mean, okay, that's one thought. Um, I can't remember who it is, but there's this show on Disney Plus that came out quite recently. The girl who's a wheelchair user, she has something else, and I can't remember what it is. But
Can't remember.
she's so long story short, she's the main. She's the main. The show's about her.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, she wasn't invited to the open the what's it called, the
Like the press
premiere.
event.
Press.
Premiere. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Oh God, that's
was
awful.
she wasn't invited because she can't. She's because she's a wheelchair user. Well, I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's because she was a wheelchair user, and there wasn't like that's stupid. The whole show is
Yeah.
literally based on her. Yeah,
It is. It is ridiculous.
it's really something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, more space, like in a
Hmm.
literal sense, and more space in a not so literal sense, as in like let us take up your space because
Yeah.
yeah.
What's something you wish more people knew about being a disabled creative?
Mm. That a couple things. One, saying stupid stuff like um, oh, but you're in a wheelchair, or oh, but yeah, yep. Thank you, because it's like I don't know. It's like we already live with the disability,
Yeah.
so I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it gets me because I'm a grown man, whatever that means. So I don't know. It's like saying using that as like a um way to attack someone. As I said, you can get a disability at any point in your life, so that's kind
Yeah.
of fun. But yeah, you know, we're just on this earth trying to create, man. Leave us alone.
Leave us alone.
Leave us alone. Yeah.
What advice would you give to actors, especially like disabled actors
Mm.
who are maybe starting out in the industry? What advice would you give to them?
One, there's no such thing as a specific way to get into acting
Yeah.
because there's so many different stories. Two, um, block out the block out the crowd of like, oh, but you, oh, but you, oh, but no. I'm choosing what I do in this
Yeah.
world. I'm choosing my creativity, and if I choose that I don't want to do this anymore, then I'm gonna choose I don't want to. I'm gonna say I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, do it because you want to do it, whether that's the creative or okay, I've tried this and I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really good. Thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you.
Last question, where can my listeners find you? Because I know you're on lots of social media channels, so this
Ooh.
is your chance to plug.
Oh, I realized I spelled my name wrong. Ooh, there. Ooh.
Oh, on the Zoom thing.
Daniela. I'm
Shay, don't you?
Shay Daniels on uh TikTok and Instagram. I think that's where I'm focusing on more. So yeah, Shay Daniels on both.
Okay, brilliant. And I'll link them down below in the
Sweet.
bio.
Sweet.